Greetings, everyone. This is Gerard, editor-in-chief of Filipino Soul Magazine, aka S.G.I.B magazine. The stand for Soldiers Got Intentions. Believe that, because everyone should be sorted with something: a dream, a goal, an idea, a train of thought, something. Well, first of all, Happy New Year to everybody. Happy New Year. That sounds great. Okay, this is my, I'm in Dumaguette, as I said. This is my, I guess, my first homecoming party, what have you. And I'm very happy to be joined with some very special friends from Cebu. But before I get started, there's a couple of things I want to mention that you don't hear in the United States. And that's, you know, last year when I posted a video about the bells. The bells that were taken from the Philippines in 1901 during the war. And it's been a real hard journey for Philippines to get those bells back. And if you read about it, don't ask me to pronounce it because I can't pronounce it, because you know I can't read. But anyway, it was hard to get the bells back. And if you read the story about it, this is when the U.S. had conquered or invaded the Philippines, or however you want to look at it, depend upon who's ever telling the story. The Philippines has really had a really tough legacy, I guess, because a lot of countries have come to the Philippines and dominated, controlled them, or enslaved them, or what have you. And the United States is no exception, because the United States is known for doing this. But if you read some of the history, it was the orders that the general had given was to turn this one particular area of the Philippines into a howling wilderness. Now, if you just think about that for a second, about turning a civilization or a community or a town or what into a howling wilderness, what you're actually saying that the only thing you want moving is sagebrush. So that's the type of conflict that went on here between the United States and the Philippines. The bells has been a real issue trying to get them back. And you know, just recently, General Mattis had resigned from the Trump administration because the Trump administration, or Donald Trump, decided to pull the military out of Syria. And as a result, which a lot of people think it's a real bad move, you know, history will tell the story about that. But one thing that you won't hear is that General Mattis was instrumental in getting those bells back to the Philippines. So we want to clap our hands for the Philippines getting those bells back. And of course, President Donald Trump was also contributed as being one of those who had helped instrumental in getting the bells back. I'd like to see him one day. I think right now they're going to be exhibited in Manila, and I'd like to go see those bells. Another thing I want to talk about is that a couple of days ago, here in Dumaguette, there was a real tragic incident that would happen. They do a lot of mining here, which recently I found out that they do two kinds of mining. I'm sure they do many others. But they mine for gold here, and they also mine for concrete. Concrete is commonly used in the building of court structures and whatever goes on. But they were mining in this one particular area, and because of the, I guess the crew or the contractors that they use, it's different here in the Philippines, where they don't have I think it's no share, or they don't have requirements or a certain, you know, level of security to make sure the workers and the conditions are up to a certain standards. So anybody can come in and virtually do anything. Well, that's what happened. You know, a crew came in and they started building these tunnels and what have you to mine for gold. And unfortunately, as what happened was that it rained and a whole area was sucked in, some houses. So I decided to go today and, you know, take a look, because it's not too far from where I stay at. And I wanted to do a video from that area, but then when I got there, my emotions were, you know, looking at the people. You start looking at you know, at some of the, you know, the concern. You start looking at the faces of some of the people who are actually living through this. And it made me wonder how reporters can be in areas that have been devastated, whether it be a natural disaster or crime, and do it so cavalier, where it just comes right off the tongue. But I became so emotional that I couldn't bring myself to raising my camera and want to do some type of story on it without thinking that I'm exploiting them. So what I was able to do was let them know I wanted to make a donation. So they escorted me beyond the barrier into the area where is that they were doing the feeding, and I met the barangay there, and two of them, I think, and I met them and told them I'd like to make a donation, and I made a donation for them. And just doing it, I just got so swelled up in myself that I know I'm fighting back tears because it's, I mean, Philippines, you know, it's if you want to help, if you want to give, if you want to do something for someone, this is the perfect place to do it. I don't believe in joining organizations because organizations, the money never gets to the person or the entity that you're actually raising money to. It oftentimes it gets diverted into expenses of the head that be. So, you know, if you are on a person who likes to give away money, and you have none, this is the place to give because it takes so little here to make a difference in someone's life. Okay, so I'm gonna pause it right here, and then I'm gonna bring on a couple of people who've been with me. I call them my family, and we'll be right back. So remember, dreams are nothing more than plans awaiting action. Never disrespect elder or pull someone up. And sometimes you'll be only one to see your vision. And I always love you more. So we'll be right back. Just hold on. Okay, welcome back, everybody. Here we are. Okay, I want to introduce you my special guest here in Dumaguette. Tell you a quick story because I'm notorious for making a short story longer. But anyway, you get the idea. This is Chrissy. Chrissy here, who, when I was in Cebu, I was walking down the street one day and I happened to look into a boutique shop, and I looked in there and there was like a gold shrine. And I stopped and I said, hey, wow, I'd like to take a picture there. So I went in there to take a picture, and the woman had said, well, we have antiques in the back. So I said, okay, fine. I said, well, I'd like to see them. I said, yes. So when I walked in the back to see them, you know, there was this big portrait on the wall of this woman. She looked absolutely very spectacular. I thought she was like Marcos's wife or someone like that. She was like this. And so the woman said, I said, wow, she's beautiful. So she said, would you like to meet her? I said, wow. Yes. Not that I was meeting an actual woman who was in the portrait of the picture, because I knew this was taken many years ago. But I said, yes, I would love to meet her. So I heard this voice behind the thing said, okay, I'll get ready. So I said, wow. So she's getting ready to meet me. So when she came out, her name was Flora. She owned a boutique shop called Flora Boutique in Cebu. Very beautiful woman, very, very nice woman. And we chatted and we had coke. And I told her what I did, and she said she had a granddaughter who suffered. So I said, okay, yes, I'd love to meet her, you know. And actually, I did meet her, and I met Chrissy. Chrissy was the first artist who I interviewed in the Philippines. Chrissy, tell everybody how old you are.
So, hi guys, I'm Christine Astor and I'm 18 years old. I am a pageant enthusiast, and at the same time, I also sing.
Oh, and she has one pageant, so let me tell you. In fact, in my office, I got this big picture that she gave me of herself. So, Chrissy, what are some of the things that you want to do in life?
In life, I just want to inspire people and to make my dreams come true.
Okay. Okay, so so what advice would you give someone about following your dreams and your goals?
Never give up on your dreams and your goals in life, and just believe in yourself.
Okay. Is there a website or information where people can see some of your work as a model, as a pageant worker?
You can add me on Facebook, Christine Astor, and Instagram, Kirsty.
Okay, and on this side, this is her sister. Her sister is Ferlin. After I finished interviewing Chrissy, which she did an Adele song, a cappella, that was absolutely flawless.
Wow.
Her mother had told me, her grandmother told me that she had another granddaughter who dances. So would I like to interview her? So I'm not going to tell her grandmother no. So I said yes. So I asked how old she was. So she said that she was, I think it was 14 or something at the time. 15 at the time. So I told her that yes, I would interview her, but I couldn't interview her without her mother, because I don't interview minors without the presence of their parents or whatever. So, and Florell did a song too. She danced to Shakira, right?
Yes.
Okay, so tell us about yourself, Florell.
So hi guys, I'm Florell Store and I'm 17 years old. Then my talent is dancing, and then I joined Festival Queen.
Ah, okay. All right. And what advice would you give someone about following your dreams and your goals?
Never stop dreaming and don't give up.
Okay. Now I want to also tell you that these two are my first two nieces in the Philippines. Okay, so what we're gonna do is that we're gonna stop here. Oh, when they told me that her mother can sing, so I said, okay, after Florida finished dancing, I pulled the mother up and said, sing it. And of course she hesitated. So her mother started to sing Gloria Gaynor, I Will Survive. So when she said, once I was afraid, I said, wow. You know, for being around people who can sing, you can tell a trained voice when you hear it. So I knew that her mother had talent as a singer, but I didn't know the extent it was. So after I had interviewed her and let her sing, it was later brought to me and showed me her on YouTube, that where she was a 2016 Daily Showtime winner. And her name is Ellen Bite, and we're gonna have her come out in a second. Okay, so is there anything else that you guys wanna say?
Nothing.
Are you happy to see your uncle?
Yes!
Okay, so again, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell, and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back everybody. Again, my name is Gerard, your host, editor-in-chief of Filipino Soul Magazine. And right now, I want to introduce you, the 2016 Daily Showtime winner. It's our first time performing in Dumaguette. So let's put our hands together and welcome Miss Ellen Bite. My girl. My girl. Okay, Ellen, how are you doing?
I'm fine.
Okay. How has your New Year been? Great, okay. Okay. So, tell the people who inspired you to sing.
My mother.
Your mother did? And who was somebody? We've done this 1,000